This is oldschoolcharts.com, and we're going to take another look in the upgraded version of higher resolution. I want to take another look at PMI. Remember, this is not investment advice. You do your own due diligence, and remember that you invest at your own risk. Did you read that? Good. Now we can make it go away. And go visit the website oldschoolcharts.com, and that can go too. PMI is in the mortgage insurance industry, and they were a $50 stock in 2007. And when the housing bubble burst, so did they. And the price went all the way from $50 to about 2 years later, in the high 20 cents. This is a really nice chart, and I want to show you a couple things about it. And there's a couple of very interesting developments too that I described on the other chart that I posted last week. But I want to kind of do the whole thing again, since we have a better looking presentation. This is clearly the bottom, and I am looking at this pattern as if it is an inverse head and shoulders. This would be the left shoulder over here, going back to the neckline, the head going back to the neckline, then the right shoulder. It's got a little bit of wiggling around in it around the head. The case could be made that it's even kind of a complex head and shoulders, where there's another neckline about here where the cursor is. But the pattern that is most easily distinguished is the one that I've drawn the neckline. And I want to make that purple. There we go. We had a breakout in April. That breakout was not sustained. So it came back underneath the neckline. And there have been a couple of stocks that have done this, that have later gone on and made very nice gains. The pattern is still working, and when it came back down, it still made a higher low than the one that was previous, but it looks now like it's going to make another attack on this neckline. And there's something really kind of cool that's taking place that tells me it's going to take that out, and I'm going to show you what that is in just a second. Before we do it, you know, a lot of people talk about how do we measure the projected target from a head and shoulders. Well, normally you take the depth of the head and you add it onto the neckline. In this particular case, I think that's being a little just a bit aggressive. Oh, I would love for that to happen because I've got a position in PMI, but since this had such a wide range, I don't think we're going to get up to $80. Who knows though? Maybe 5 years from now it is. You know, we don't know. We really don't know. There are a number of large players who are betting on PMI. They think PMI has the goods and that they are going to be a survivor of all of the bank and mortgage issues that are so prevalent. But so there's your head and shoulders pattern. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to show you something kind of neat. I want to show you another little head and shoulders pattern right here. And we're going to make that neckline purple too. What's kind of cool about this one is that it just got this little tiny head down here, nothing huge. And it's an attainable target. It's not like this is saying we're going to go to 80. If we add that on here, then we end up with a target that's right around just maybe a hair under 6, maybe 580, something like that. But the interesting thing is, if this little head and shoulders meets its target, this large neckline, out of necessity, will be broken out of for a second time, and that will probably do the trick. I'm going to show you one more quick thing here. You know, when we look at these steep declines, it's funny how often you can pinpoint where the bottom is going to be. We have that peak, we have this peak, we break this, and then what do? We come back down for the back test of that trend line. So anyway, I've got a long position in PMI. I'm being pretty patient with it. I've got shares that I bought actually on this pullback. So I've got shares that I bought over 5, and then I have shares that I've added back in the mid 3s. So I'm just being patient with it. I believe when you back out and you look at this long-term chart, I think you can see that this has a long ways to go. Additionally, when we do this little exercise and back out, you can also see where this bottom was pretty much predicted by a trend line over this, and that bottom right there. So this is PMI. You ought to take a look, but don't take my word for it. You make your own decisions. But is a technical chart and a chart of interest. Very interesting when you have a large head and shoulders and a little head and shoulders, and this little one is telling us the big one's going to break out. Have fun with it. Good luck investing, and we'll see you next time.